Hey everyone, it's Bobby. I decided to do a video simply on wrapping the lay flat 3-part cover because I seem to be repeating the same thing over and over and over on each video, but I don't want to leave out people who have never done it before by just starting with the album already wrapped. So I thought I would do a separate video on the wrap only. For anyone who has not tried this method, you will absolutely love it. It is the simplest way to go. However, I have wrapped one piece, and you can see how nice and square the corners are. This is the easiest way to wrap, and you don't need a long table for a long spread of cardstock and chipboard. So you can make it any size as long as it's not more than 10 by 10. Because you need a 1-inch border all the way around for wrapping. Let me smooth this out here. So any album cover will be wrapped the same way. So what you need is, for instance, this chipboard is 6.5 by 8.5, I believe. Yes. So I cut my cardstock at 8.5 by 10.5. And then we have these spacers, which give us the perfect 1-inch border. And Tammy does sell these at Country Craft Creations, and they are awesome. Up until I got these, I was using just scrap pieces of chipboard for spacers. But these are so much nicer because they don't slide or move around at all, where sometimes the chipboard does, and I have to keep repositioning it. But if you don't have these, cut yourself 2 strips that are 1.5 inch long out of your scraps, and one that is 2 strips that are 1 inch wide, and 1 strip that is 1.5 inches wide. I'll get that right in a minute. Let me get this. Then on my chipboard, darn it, I can't get a hold of it, I have added the scor tape sheet to the back side. And those are also available at Country Craft Creations. And they are awesome. They save you so much time. Many years ago, I used glue. And you always see spots where your glue doesn't spread out completely when you turn your cover over. And I never liked that, but I didn't know what else to do. Well, since scor tape, we don't have that problem. So you're going to place this down with your spacers as a guide. And then we're going to roll our edges. Just simply roll it over. And then use your bone folder to get a nice edge. And you'll do the same thing for the front and the back panel of your album cover. And we'll do all 4 sides. And this way I can include a link in each of my videos for anybody who has not wrapped an album like this, so they can refer to this video to wrap it. And then people who have already made numerous albums and know how to do it, they won't have to sit through it each time. And it will also shorten my upload and download and all of that, my editing. So I'm going to place a 1/2 inch strip of scor tape along the edge, and I want to go just beyond my fold lines there so that when I trim it, I don't have any overhang. Some people use all white glue for this, which is fine. I like the scor tape. I don't use it in a lot of places because of the humidity where I live. But for this process, it works well. At least for me it does. So I'm going to place this down just shy of the edge. Last side. And then we want to trim out our corners. So where these two fold lines intersect, we're just going to cut it out on those scored lines. And I usually give myself extra space because I can always take more away, but if I take too much, then I get upset with myself. If you do by chance take too much off, even if it's just a little spot, you can always take a black Sharpie and touch up the edge of your chipboard so you don't have a place showing that you don't want. But if you do it this way, you shouldn't have any problems at all. And there's the last one. Now to trim it up, we want to turn it over and see where you've got a little bit of overhang there. You just want to lay your scissors there and just kind of angle it just a tiny bit and just trim that off. Then we do the other short end. This is so easy to make your covers like this. And for me, it's super advantage because I have a small area to work in. When we were wrapping them in one long piece, hooking everything together, oh my gosh, it would hang off the edge of my desk. So we're just going to go around and trim up all of these edges. Make sure we got a nice clean edge. Last side. And see, I cut in a little bit there, but it's not going to show. And trim that up. Get my trash out of the way here. Throw it away in a minute. Okay, now I'd like to take my bone folder and go around the edges just to make sure I get a nice smooth edge. Now I'll start with the long side. And here's where I put the wet glue, the art glitter glue. And I just put it in here a little bit. Raise it up and roll it over again. Now look how nice that is. We'll do this side. Over. Got a little glue on there. So we do all four sides this way. Overzealous with my glue. But this art glitter glue dries clear, so it's not a biggie. Well, if my nails wouldn't break, it'd be okay. Try this corner. There we go. Okay. And we'll roll this one. Now we have a front and a back panel. Very easy. And the more you do it, the easier it gets, and it goes so quick. And I like to go around the edges and square everything up. So now we have two panels, a front and a back panel. See, and they're exactly the same. Now for your spine, this is cut 3 inches wider 2 inches longer. Because we're still going to have 1 inch at the top, but we're going to have 1.5 inches on each side so that we've got room to wrap around. So here's the 1.5. Let me get rid of these. Okay, so we'll take our score tape off the spine. This one is 1 1/4. Is it 1 1/4? 1.5. Almost 1.5. About 1 3/8. So that way you would cut your cardstock 4 3/8. And we're just going to put this right in here, just like we did our front and back panel. These are so nice. I love these. You can find those in Tammy's store. They're super. Okay, now the 1/2 inch. I put a small piece up here at the top. Actually, I got a little more than I need, but better too much than not enough. And a piece down here. Now, everybody might not do it exactly the same way. Some people might use all white glue, some might use all score tape, or a mixture of the two like I'm doing. It's strictly up to you what you like. So let's score around this chipboard. And then we're going to roll it just like we did the covers. All 4 sides. Okay, now let's cut out these corners here, just like the front and back. Gonna trim it up anyway, so. Don't get too much. Trying to be careful. Okay. So now we want to trim again. Just clean up our edges. Don't get in too close there. Yeah, I can see that little fragment right there. Okay. Now let's roll this one back the other way, so that when you build your cover, you have good flexibility, so that your album will bend both ways, however you want it to work. Okay, so now on these two, I'm going to trim it down from the edge just a little bit. One more time. Okay, let's fold these little goodies in. And the only thing you have to decide, once we get this covered, is do you want your spine attached on the inside of the cover or on the outside of the cover? And I'll show you. A little extra glue there. If you, let me see, here's that last one. This is one I just recently did. If you put it on the outside or the inside of your cover, let me show you. If you wrap it like this, if you lay it in your scoreboard and attach turn it around so I have the long edge. If you lay it in your scoreboard, that's wanting to buckle for some reason, I don't know why. Anyway, if you lay it in your scoreboard up against the flat edge and lay this one right in, right up to the score line, but not covering it. Oops. It doesn't look like that's straight. There we go. That's better. And then you would attach it with your white glue, and then this one over here. And I don't want to attach them because I'm not going to use this cover right away, and it's easier for me to store it flat till I'm ready to use it. But that's how you would attach those with white glue. And that will give you this look here with the edges. That's what that achieves. Then, if you want to wrap it so that your spine is on the outside, you would turn your spine and your pieces over, and you would add, which I'm going to do for this one. I want this one to be on the outside, I think. You would add a 1/4 inch strip of score tape right up against your chipboard. And that will give you a guide for spacing, because when it wraps from the outside you need a little leeway when you turn the when you bend the cover. You don't want it to smash right up against chipboard. It won't lay as nice, so you do need that little spacer. And for that, you would wrap it like this. Up against the score tape, or maybe just barely overlapping the score tape. I think I would overlap just a hair. And then this one will be the same way, just like this. And that way, whoops, you've got the spacing you need. And you would add your white glue here and pull off your score tape, and then add this down. Adhere this to it, same way on this side. And that will give you this rounded look. Nice and smooth. Alright, now I hope this helps. If this is your first time wrapping the 3-part lay flat cover and you have any questions, just let me know. I don't mind at all answering your questions. I'm here to help you. If there's any way I can, just let me know. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I will add a link to this video to each of my tutorials from now on, so that anybody who hasn't wrapped an album cover can refer to this. Thanks for watching. Bye.